My name is Pamela Ferguson. Today we are going to talk about the 10 commandments of clear skin. So let's talk about the first one. The first one is going to be to keep it clean. Obviously, if we want to keep blemishes at bay, we need to keep our skin clean. Now, what does that mean? I would say 1 to 2 or 2 times a day in the morning and before you go to bed to make sure you use cleanser and take care of your skin. That's the first thing. Now, if you're doing heavy exercising, especially if you're a face sweater, some people are, some people are not. If you are, you can either wash your face at that time in addition to the morning and the night, or you can take one of those face wipes. We've seen them. You take them and then just kind of gets the excess oil off of your face. So keep it clean, and that's your first commandment. The second one is don't pick. Don't pick. It's a hard one. Why should we not pick? We've heard these kinds of things. First of all, you can cause more acne. If you're pushing and doing it can actually push some of the bacteria underneath the skin next to it, and maybe you have a pimple come up right next to it because you picked. It can cause, with the bacteria and everything, potential for scarring. So even when your blemish is gone, you are left with a wonderful, wonderful dark mark, which you do not want. And the other thing cause inflammation, so redness, puffiness, and then if you're like, okay, I'm trying to hide it before, but now I've just made it angry and worse. So if you have acne, don't pick. But number 3, what if you do? You need to treat it with the tried and true products that have been around for ages that are proven to work on blemishes. That's what you need to use. I mean, it's great to try these wonderful new things, but when you're having an issue like that and you've picked and it's red and angry and inflamed, do you want to try something new, or do you want to use something that we already know is successful and works? So what is successful and what works? So some of these words I'm going to tell you, so we talk about the 5th, I guess, commandment would be stick with the basics. So that's what I'm talking about now. Stick with the basics. We've heard these benzoyl peroxide. We've heard that, right? Salicylic acid sounds aggressive, but it's really no different than something like your other acids in foods that we have. And also glycolic acid. These are 3 main things that have been around for a long time that are tried and true for acne. So if you do pick, which try not to, if you do, this is how you're going to treat them. So the other thing is that in addition to those kinds of ingredients, another great thing that's super amazing and people don't associate it with clear skin is retinoids. You're like, retinoid, what the heck's that? I kind of heard of it maybe. So we're talking about our retinols, our retinals. Essentially, it's like a vitamin A derivative. So these, what you've probably heard them typically referred to as wrinkles. Oh, well, you need this retinol for your wrinkles. Is retinol good for wrinkles? Yep, it's amazing for wrinkles. Do you know what else it's good for? It's good for if you have sun damage that you're dealing with. It's good if you have acne that you're dealing with, as long as you use it as directed. That's a key. People with acne and other skin issues tend to be overly aggressive and using things, I say, out of context, not following the directions. So make sure you don't do that. There's a reason why that there are these directions. So for example, when we talk about the retinoids, they tend not to play well with air and light or sun. So whatever delivery form that your product has, if it's in a jar or if it's in a tube or whatever it may be, make sure that it stays away to get the least amount of the air and the sun to it, because then the efficacy of the product is going to come down. So if you have a jar that you open up and then your light from the bathroom is on there and then the air gets it and you're just using it over and over again, the product is going to be less effective. So make sure whatever one you choose, you are doing one that has a better delivery system than that. And the other thing, because of the fact that the retinoids don't play well with the sun, when should you put it on? Do you think you should put it on in the day or at night? No, you should definitely put it on at night before you go to bed. Really have the night to penetrate into the skin, and in the morning you're going to wash your face and follow it with sunscreen so the retinols or retinoids or whatever you're using is no longer sitting on the skin. So that's really important to do it at night, to use as directed. So the 6th 10 commandment that you should be doing if you want clear skin is to treat it early. So gone are the days. I mean, I grew up in the 80s and even 70s where everybody had like a tube of Clearasil, and we got a blemish, we got some acne, we're like, okay, I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna put it here, I'm gonna put it here, and then you're like, hopefully we'll get rid of it fast. Gone are those days. We know so much more about acne now than we did before. So what you need to do instead is to treat it before it comes out. Well, how in the heck am I supposed to do that? I'm not gonna know I'm gonna get one here. How am I going to treat it before? That's the key. You have to be proactive instead of reactive and treat the entire face. Let's say you're prone to get it on your face. Are you prone to get it on your chest? What about your shoulders and your back? Treat those areas before that they actually come out. So depending on what products you're using, you're preventing the acne from coming out altogether, and you're shortening the amount of time that the acne is actually there. Because with hormones and everything, it's sometimes hard to avoid them coming out altogether. It's just gonna be better because you're gonna shorten the amount of time. So we talk about treating early, and the 7th commandment to clear skin is to don't overtreat it. When somebody gets a blemish and they're like, oh my gosh, not today, it's picture day, I'm meeting with my boss, I have this amazing date, whatever it is, the worst thing you can do is try to over-treat it. The 8th commandment to help for clear skin is to calm down, relax. What does stress do? It causes the hormones to come up, and it also causes increase in oil, the stress and increase in oil production. So whatever it is that helps you relax, is it exercise? If you need to, wipe your face if you're a face sweater. Is it reading? Is it meditating? Is it sitting in a bath? I don't know. Whatever it is to just relax and de-stress. Despite what people think, and I have to admit in my 20s, I thought this as well, the 9th commandment is to protect your skin. And when I say protect your skin, I mean from the sun. In my 20s, after I graduated from college, I was in Greece with a friend. And so we're in our bathing suits all the time. We were like with all these young people. And I had a breakout on my back. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have this breakout on my back. So I'm thinking, I need to lay in the sun as much as possible to help dry this up and get rid of it. Now I know better. The sun actually makes your acne worse. I know it's counterintuitive. I thought, well, it's drying, so it would work. But it doesn't. It makes it worse. So it's so important to protect your skin with a daily SPF. Even if you're going out in the sun and you get especially that back acne, but not just any SPF. If you deal with acne or blemishes on an ongoing basis, you need to find a sunscreen that has either low oil or it's non-comedogenic, which means it's not going to clog your pores up. Those are the things you need to look for. I know it's easy just to spray some random thing on there, but don't do it. It's not worth it. It might cause more breakouts. It might clog your pores and give you more acne. So don't do that. So the last item for clear skin is, okay, so what did you do? You had a blemish. You picked it and you tried to treat it and it's gone, but it may be left behind by a not so special friend. That dark mark from where the blemish was. So now you're left with this dark mark on your skin, even though the acne itself is gone. What do you do now? This is where you go, again, back to the tried and true products. The salicylic acid is good about that. Or if you know of products specifically made to lighten or brighten up any sort of dark spots due to acne. Very common, especially if you're a picker. Well, that was the 10 commandments to clear skin, and hopefully you got a reminder or you learned something new. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming, and hopefully we can connect in real life. And if there's some products that you wondered about that I spoke about and you're like, well, I want to do this, but I have no idea what to use, reach out to me. I have some suggestions, and hopefully some of them will work for you.